Very good morning, cadets. Hope you are all doing well. We are in chapter number 7. What is the chapter number 7? That is outcomes of democracy. In the outcomes of democracy, what we have studied till now? Assessment of democracy, how democracy is accountable, responsive and legitimate government. We also studied the merits of democracy. Further, we studied about how democracy is just a form of government and it can create only conditions for achieving something good. It is the individual who has to put his effort and reach the greater goal. Over 100 countries in the world, they have democracy, but we cannot say that all democratic countries have same practice. Every democratic countries have their own practice. We studied about the point of accountable, responsive and legitimate government. We also studied about the next major topic, that is how we studied this survey, and we also studied the next major topic, that is economic growth and development. These are the points which we studied under the economic growth and development. Next point which we studied, that is reduction of inequality and poverty. Okay, these are the topics which we studied in the reduction of inequality and poverty. The next point which we completed is how democracy accommodates social diversity. How democracy accepts social diversity, we studied in the case of Belgium in chapter number 1. So these are the topics. Till this I completed in the last class. Today let us move to the next topic, that is how we can see the democracy upholds the dignity and freedom of citizens. So dignity and freedom of citizen. Democracy stands much superior to say other forms of democracy stands much superior than other forms of government in promoting dignity and freedom of individual. So whenever we speak about democracy, dictatorship, communism, monarchical form of government, in a communist form of government, the freedom or dignity of individual is not respected. In a dictatorship form of government, definitely a person who is opposing dictator will be killed very badly. So there is no question of dignity or a freedom to the citizen given in a dictatorship form of government. So in a dictatorship form of government, in a monarchy or in a kingship or in a communism form of government, dignity of individual is not upholded. Not only that, at the same time, the freedom of individual also not promoted in this form of government. So how it works? Democracy stands much superior than other forms of government in promoting dignity and freedom of individual. In a non-democratic setup, women's and minority rights are not protected in the best possible manner. So in a non-democratic form of government, what happens? The minorities' rights are not protected in a best possible manner. Let it be religious minority or ethnic or racial minority. The minorities' governments are not protected. Minorities' rights are not protected in a non-democratic form of government. Whereas in a democratic setup, it is always protected. Democracy also promotes equal status and equal opportunities for all the citizens of the country. It promotes equal status, means everyone is treated equal in a democratic form of government. Not only that, in a democratic form of government, every citizen is given equal opportunity. Now here question comes here. Equal opportunity means equal opportunity in socio-economic aspects. Means you cannot say that everybody gets equal results. It may not be, because when 4 persons are running 100-meter race, only one or two will come first. Most of the time only one will come first, because that everybody is given the same track or everybody is given same time, but depends on individual performance. Few will reach first and few will come last. So same way, democracy gives equal opportunity, but using the opportunity and succeeding in government or succeeding in individual life, that is purely left to the people. That is what individual development. Let us check the incident of Rosa Parks, which we have studied in class 9th. Rosa Parks still inspires. The above cartoon and graph illustrate a point made in the section Dignity and Freedom of the Citizen. Underline the sentence from this section which connect the cartoon or paragraph. You see, beliefs in the efficacy of vote is placed above calculus of utility. The lady had a courage to sit in the seat which was told that it is reserved for people belong to white race. Even today there are enough places where it is your rights are denied. When the rights are denied, the person who was denied right, for whom it was denied, he should have moral courage to oppose. That's very, very important. Let us move to the conclusion of the chapter number 7, that is outcomes of democracy. So before conclusion of the chapter outcomes of democracy, once again go through the points. First one is accountable, responsive and legitimate government. Second is economic growth and development. Third is reduction of inequality and poverty. Fourth is accommodation of social diversity. And the next one is dignity and freedom of citizens. So these are the topics which we studied. These are the topics which I highlighted in the second slide. Okay. Accountability, responsive government, economic growth and development, reduction of inequality and poverty, accommodation of social diversity, dignity of freedom and freedom of citizen. So let us conclude the chapter. We can draw following conclusions from the chapter. What are the conclusions? People get more benefit and welfare from the democratic form of government. Everything said and done, what conclusion we can do? When you compare democracy with other forms of government, in a democratic form of government, common man get more benefit and welfare compared to other forms of government. So that is the fact which we have to accept, that people get more benefit in a democracy than in other forms of government. More and more nations are adopting democratic form of government. So more and more nations are adopting democratic. That's the reason why. Whenever we say something is successful, what is the proof for successful? If something is successful, more people will follow that. That is what the sign of success. So in a democratic form of government, now more number of countries are following democratic form of government. That means it is understood that democracy is a successful form of government. So since the democracy is a successful form of government, that's why majority are adopting that. That is one clear example for democracy is the successful form of government. Initially in 1940s and 50s, there were very few countable numbers of government which were democratic. But today if you see, more than 100 countries in the world, they have democratic setup. So this is a clear example that democracy is the most popular form of government out of the all types of government. Which are the types of government? Communist form of government, dictatorship, or other major forms of government. Communism, dictatorship, monarchy, or kingship. Next one. Democracy transfers people from the status of a subject into the citizens. Subjects. What do you mean by subjects? Subjects are, during the time of kingship, people are not called citizens, they are called subjects. Akbar ruled his subjects in a very best manner. Subjects means here people. What is the difference between subjects and citizens? Subjects are those people who are subjected to king's rule, who don't enjoy the freedom. Whereas citizens are not subjects. Citizens are those people who enjoys the rights of even questioning the king, or that means the prime minister. But in a monarchical government you cannot question the prime minister, in the king. So what is the greatest plus point of democracy? That democracy transformed people from the status of subject into citizens. That is one of the greatest success of democracy. So with this I completed chapter number 7, that is outcomes of democracy. Cadets, with this I completed the civics, that is democratic politics part 2 textbook for the year 2020-21. It's a very unique experience, cadets, because we used to complete syllabus in the classroom atmosphere, get a lot of response from the cadets, plus minus understood chapters, topics, and we used to discuss the topics which are not understood later as revision. Now it is solely your responsibility to go through the all previous videos and understand each and every chapter and each and every topic in the chapter. In case there is any doubt on any topic, you have to contact me so that I can solve your problems. Otherwise, with the completion of democratic politics, next I'll move to history. We have to study 3 chapters in the history. So with the completion of history, your entire syllabus for class 10th will be over, and you have to face board examinations once you are back to school. So democratic politics part 2 syllabus is over. If you have any doubts, definitely get back to me. Can you tell me which are the chapters which are taught till now? Policy of accommodation and diversity, federalism, gender, caste and religion, political parties, and finally the chapter of outcomes of democracy. Okay, write down. In the next videos I'll post the question and answers of the chapter, that is this particular chapter. So write down all the notes, question and answers exercise. Moreover, you yourself make few questions, 1 mark question, 2 mark questions and all, so that it will be easy for you to understand the depth of the chapter. I repeat once again, those who don't have textbook, either you come visit school and collect your textbook, or download textbook from ePathshala so that you can understand the chapter in a better way. Take care. Wish you a wonderful day.